Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a aprender sobre el reloj en español, sobre qué hora es. Telling time in Spanish. What hour is it, is the question. To ask what time it is in Spanish, you say qué hora es. Literally, what hour is it? As you can see by this painting by the famous Spanish artist Salvador Dalí, telling time in Spanish can be a little bit complicated, but now that you know your numbers, it should be fairly easy for you. ¿Qué hora es? So to answer the question, ¿qué hora es? And on an even hour, you can say es la una, it's 1 o'clock, or on any other hour, son las dos. The reason why we use la is because we're referring to hora. Es la una hora. It's the 1 hour. But then when we get to 2, we have to say son las dos horas. Son las dos. They are the 2 hours. The reason why we use son is because dos is plural. So for every number after una, we say son. Son las dos, son las tres, son las cuatro, son las cinco, son las seis. Please fill in your notes now. I want you to try to fill in the rest of the hours on your own. So pause the video and write in es la una, son las dos, and then figure out the other hours. Las horas del reloj son las tres, son las cuatro, son las cinco, son las seis, son las siete, son las ocho, son las nueve, son las 10, son las 11, son las 12. So the only one that's different is, again, es la una, because that's singular, just 1 hour. Now, the minutes are a little more complicated. Most of them are pretty easy. Y cinco and 5 minutes, y 10 and 10 minutes, y 20 and 20 minutes, y 25 and 25 minutes. However, a few of them are special. Y cuarto means and a quarter, as in a quarter of this round clock, a quarter of an hour, 15 minutes. Okay? Y cuarto means whatever hour and 15. Y media is half the clock, half an hour. So to say, for example, 1:30, you say es la una y media. So that's on this half of the clock. You add y cinco, y 10, y cuarto, y 20, y 25, y media. But on the other side of the clock, we're going to subtract. You might have heard your mom say at some point, it's 10 till 5, or it's 5 till 9. That's because when you're looking at an analog clock, okay, this kind of clock, it's easier to tell that it's close to the next hour than to count all the way around to like 11 to get to 55. So people would just look at the next hour and then subtract from it. That is what you do in Spanish. Okay, so we have menos cinco. We would go up to the next hour and subtract 5. For example, 4:55, we say son las cinco menos cinco. It's 5 minus 5 minutes. Okay? Then menos 10, menos cuarto, menos 20, menos 25. Okay? That's on this side of the clock. You count this way, as the arrow indicates, and you subtract. For another example, 6:50 would be son las siete menos 10, because it's 10 minutes before 7. Okay, and then we have en punto, on the dot. Please pause the video now and copy these into your notes. Now for some practice. First, I'll give you a few examples in Spanish, and I want you to think and say what they are in English. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 2:10. It is 2:10. Son las 2, and 10. It's 2:10. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 9:15. Careful, it's cuarto, not cuatro. Son las 9:15. It's 9:15. It's 9 and a quarter. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 5:25. I hope that you got that it's 5:25. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 8:10. Menos 10. The answer is 7:50. It's 8 o'clock minus 10 minutes. 7:50. 8 menos 10. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 6:15. It's 5:45. Okay, it's 6 o'clock minus 15 minutes, a quarter of an hour, so it's 5:45. Now I want you to tell me the next few examples in Spanish. I'll give you a little longer to think about them. ¿Qué hora es? It's 1:20. How would you tell someone that it's 1:20? You would say, es la 1:20. Es la 1:20, singular. How could you tell someone that it's 5:30? Son las 5:30. It's 5.5 an hour. Son las 5:30. How could you tell someone that it's 9:45? Remember, for this one you're going to have to subtract. Son las 10 menos cuarto. It's 10 minus a quarter. It's 1:15. Es la 1:15. It's 1.25 of an hour, 15 minutes. Es la 1:15. It's 10:55. Remember, for this one you're going to have to go up to the next hour and then subtract. You would say, son las 11 menos 5. It's 11 o'clock minus 5 minutes, or 5 till 11. That's all for today. I hope that helped you gain an understanding of how to tell time. We'll be practicing a lot in class this week. Hasta luego!